Hi, everybody, and welcome to Global Education Study Abroad Virtual Expo. Today, I'm joined by my colleague Chizoba. She is representing Middlesex University and will be telling you everything that you need to know about this institution. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar. We are Global Education. We're an education agency and we're contracted to many universities around the world, with which today we have a focus on Middlesex. We assist students with the application process from start to finish, including student visas, getting them enrolled into their course, and we also assist with your accommodation. So yeah, please enjoy the webinar. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. And yeah, Chizoba, I'm going to leave it all up to you.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Like my colleague rightly introduced me, my name is Chizoba. I work with the Regional Office of Middlesex University. I work as a Senior Admissions Manager and Recruitment Officer for overseeing the West African region. So our office is domiciled in Abuja, Nigeria. I'm happy to be here and I look forward to us having a really interactive session today. Okay, so like she already, I'm sure you can all see my screen. So we have the topic, of course, is Middlesex University, your ideal study destination. And today will be, okay, so today we'll be looking at getting some information about Middlesex, about the campus locations, what academic pathways or courses that are available at Middlesex University, what the entry requirements or information is all about, and then the next steps towards making an application. Okay, so here we have this slide showing an overview, just a little bit information about Middlesex University. So Middlesex University, I'll start by saying that Middlesex University is obviously a British university. It is an internationally recognized university in the UK. So that means that it's a British degree awarding institution. Middlesex University has been in existence for a very long time. In fact, the history dates back to the 18th century. I mean, that's how long Middlesex has been around for, but became a full-fledged university in 1992, which is why it is classified as a modern university. Now, Middlesex University has over 40,000 students worldwide. That we have a diverse student community with over 140 countries, representing about 44% of the student population. We have over 300 courses available at Middlesex University and over 1,700 staff and all of that. So, I mean, this is just a little information about Middlesex University. So when I say that it is a university that has over 150 countries represented, it gives you an idea that this is a university that is really multicultural in every sense of the way. So that is actually one of the reasons that makes it an ideal destination or a first point, like a first choice for most students from this part of the world. Because I mean, you can only imagine a university that has that much presence. It means that although when you find yourself in Middlesex University, you might be away from school, from home, but you wouldn't necessarily feel like you're away from home, because you can imagine that you'll be in the same class as students from your own part of the world, and you get to meet people from other parts of the world as well. So the next slide I'm sharing talks about our achievements, just a little bit about our achievements, what our rankings look like. Okay, so Middlesex University has recently been awarded a silver status in the latest UK Government Teaching Excellence Framework. This award is really important. Like, I can't think of any university in the UK that does not want to have this award, because it just shows that as a university, you know what you're doing. It shows that the quality of teaching that students will be getting is top notch. I mean, you know what it means to be awarded a silver award in teaching excellence framework. It means that the quality of teaching that students are being given is top notch. Then it's ranked in the 79th global. Middlesex University is ranked 79th globally for modern universities, which I mean is really a huge plus. I mentioned that modern universities are universities that are that came into existence from 1990 and below. Then it's actually 15th most international university in the world. Just like I mentioned initially, you find people from different races studying at Middlesex University. The next slide will give us a little bit of, it's a video sharing with us, someone sharing just a little bit about information about Middlesex. I hope it plays. Okay.
Middlesex University produces exceptional support teachers as well as staff.
Okay, so that's just like that's you hearing it from the horse's mouth. You can see the many testimonials about Middlesex. Okay, so this next slide tells us a little bit about the global reputation Middlesex has built over the years. Of course, Middlesex University is the first university to open a network of recruitment offices around the world, and that happened in the early 1990s. You remember I mentioned that we have the office, I work from the office in West Africa. The same applies, like there are regional offices for Middlesex University cut across every part of the world. We have a regional office in Kenya that oversees the sub-Saharan Africa, South Africa, and all of that. We have regional offices in America, in Caribbean, in Mauritius. So that just gives you an idea of the sort of global university that Middlesex University really is. Okay, so Middlesex University courses are now taught in more than 100 institutions across the globe, including AppTech. So the next slide tells us about the university's locations. Now, I did mention that Middlesex University is an international, it's a British university located in London. Middlesex University is located in Hendon, London. That is the main camp where the main campus is located, but it is such a global university that there are branch campuses spread across Malta, Dubai, and Mauritius. The Dubai campus started in 2005. The campus in Mauritius started in 2009, and then the one in Malta started in 2013. So that's this slide just gives us a pictorial representation of the many locations where you can find the branch campuses of Middlesex University. Not many universities have this sort of locations all across the world. Then this is also another video testimonial about a student who studied computing. I think we might have to skip that to the next. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, so, okay. So the next slide tells us about the location of London still. Of course, London is a very exciting and dynamic multicultural location. It is a global hub for best in cultural, business, political, media, legal, and sporting events. It is the business hub of the world with over 63 firms under the FTSE, that's the Financial Times and Stock Exchange, having offices in London. There are also over 100 firms with offices in London. What does this tell us? It tells us that the job opportunities that you'll find in London or around London are enormous. So that's actually one of the reasons why studying in Middlesex University is an attractive thing, because of course everybody is always I can imagine everyone thinking, oh, when we are done with this, I like to get, I mean, if I'm going to school, I like to school in a place where I can get the chance to work at least. So yeah, schooling in Middlesex means that you're schooling in a location that has most of the top players in business around there. So that, like I said, that means there are many employment opportunities with over 20,000 multinational companies around. Then the next slide shows us also the distance from Middlesex University to central London. It's just about 30 minutes by bus. Then Middlesex University is obviously a campus style university. It means that it's a university where it's like a one-stop shop. You have everything located in one place. Unlike some universities where you have campuses scattered in different locations, but this one, the campus is in one location. You have everything you need in that same location. The library, the lecture halls, everything is in one location. And then we have about 3 academic schools offering over 300 courses that are closely aligned to business, industry, and other professions. The next slide I'll be sharing with you is talks a little bit about the state-of-the-art facilities that makes Middlesex what Middlesex is. Middlesex is a university that invests heavily in state-of-the-art facilities. For instance, I talked about the library, which is called the Shepherd Library. Shepherd Library is a library that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in term time. And in this library, you have access to loads and loads of ebooks. You have access to free printing, laptop loan, etc, etc. So, I mean, as a student, I can only imagine that when you have a library that is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in term time, it means that you don't have any reason as to why not to do well in your academics. Okay, so yeah, talked about that. There's that point that says Middlesex has invested over 200 million pounds in ensuring that we have state-of-the-art facilities. There are so many facilities that like the lecture theaters. When we talk about the IT labs, for example, they're equipped with state-of-the-art laptops and all of that. We also have like a fitness pod for those who are fitness enthusiasts. At the fitness pod, of course, you get the chance to register at the discount first. I mean, as a student, there are discounts available. You get the chance to register, which is a good thing, because as a student, of course, you need to combine, you need to balance out your studies with, of course, staying fit and all of that. So yeah, these are some of the reasons why Middlesex is obviously an ideal study destination. So this is just a picture of some of the facilities you have. Here you have the lecture hall, that's on your top left hand. That's what the lecture hall looks like. On your top right, you have a picture of what the laboratories, the IT labs look like. You can see the sort of facilities, sort of laptops we use. It's Mac. Then we also have the atrium, which is bottom left. The atrium is just basically a relaxation center, a relaxation spot where students can sit down, chill, unwind, grab a coffee, just network basically. So these are some of the many facilities that are available to students at Middlesex University. Here is another short video about, okay, let's see if that will play.
with the lecturers here, we can what's the challenge for me is it's a good challenge because you gain experience. At least my friends and family, we always keep in touch because basically that we have a group, we have a family, so say it's paper to coming to Middlesex, not even twice. I would do this to choose where I want to study. So I'd say just take a
Yeah. So right there was somebody's testimony. It's good to note that this student was or is from Kenya, and she had this really, awesome, or would I say amazing experience studying at Middlesex University. So you'd expect to have nothing short of the same experience at Middlesex University when you join. Okay, so the next slide gives us an idea of the subject areas available at Middlesex. We have the arts and design, where you find courses such as fashion design, animation courses such as 3D games, illustration, and all of that. Then you have business, where you have courses like business management, human resource management, international business management, MBA, marketing courses, etc. Then you also have the healthcare where we have social work and healthcare science courses. There are so many courses under that. We have the next is we have law, politics, that's humanities. We have law, politics, international relations, global governance, and sustainable development. Then science and technology, which is really big for us in this part of the world. We have courses like a lot of courses like the computing programs, under which you have courses like data science, computer networks, cybersecurity and penetration testing, financial mathematics. There are so many, even engineering, telecommunications, engineering, and so on and so forth. There are so many, like at Middlesex, you can never be, the options are limitless. There is nothing you can think of, like whatever subject area you're thinking of, there is a course available for you at Middlesex University. And then the next one, remember I mentioned that we have the main, Middlesex University has the main campus in London. So this, for the purpose of this, presentation, we are only going to talk about Mauritius for time, just because of time. Mauritius is like like I mentioned, one of the branch campuses of Middlesex University. And I mentioned, I mentioned that the campus was founded in 2009. Mauritius is an island located in the southern hemisphere, which is in the southeastern part of the Indian Ocean. Mauritius is obviously a part of Southern Africa. Mauritius has conveniently paved its way to becoming an international higher education hub, catering for the needs of the region, especially those of the sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. At Mauritius, you find abundant recreational facilities. I mean, you can only imagine, it's an island. So there are so many things that you can do that are outside your academics to keep you happy. Then we again, the environment at Mauritius is a friendly, safe, and virtually crime-free country. Then the ease of getting visas is also a thing to look at at Mauritius. It's relatively very easy to get a visa to study in Mauritius. The next, and then just to mention that irrespective of the campus you find yourself in, the curriculum is the same. Whether you're studying in London campus, in the Dubai campus, Mauritius, or wherever, or Malta, the curriculum is the same, examinations the same, degree certificate you'll be getting is the same, and as whatever you have in London, so you don't have any worries at all. Okay, there is no such thing as, oh, maybe if there are any concerns of if I study in Mauritius, I'm not sure if I'll get the same sort of quality I'll get in London. It's the same thing. Quality is not compromised at all. It's the same British education, the same syllabi, everything is the same, basically. Then this text talks a little bit about the Mauritius branch campus. Like I mentioned, it was opened in January 2009, has over 1,400 students currently from different nationalities studying there. At Middlesex University, Mauritius, they've got the biggest and most equipped campus in Mauritius. The great facilities such as on-campus library, which is called the Honesty Library, which also provides additional study and tests. There are tech hubs, modern lecture theaters. There's a lot, a whole lot, okay? Then there is also a dedicated employability team at Mauritius that will ensure that students are abreast and prepared to, readily prepared for the job market. This is actually the same for the London campus. Like, there's a dedicated employability team whose work it is to ensure that students are in tune of what the job market requires. This employability team get to speak to students from time to time, get to help students look at what their CVs, if there are anything to update or things like that. Even sometimes notify students of any job openings and things like that. And so that team is one of the reasons why Middlesex University graduates are always in employment. The moment they graduate, they seem to find jobs easily, because of course you can imagine that they're already getting prepared for the job, for the world of working, so to speak. The next slide, so still the same thing, just some pictures of what you can find on the campus. Then this very slide is, I would think, to me, is a very important part to this presentation today, because it tells us about what the entry information and application process is like. So if you're interested and you want to make an application, or maybe you want to make any inquiries at all that will lead up to you making an application, you can contact the Middlesex University General Office for guidance, and then an online application form will be sent to you. You fill it, complete it, and send it back to the regional office. And when you have completed this, the key documents to send in support of this include your certificate, copies of certificates, copies of transcripts, copy of passports, the biodata page of your passport, the parts that has the picture with the information about you, then a personal statement, your O-level certificate, and 2 letters of recommendation if you are applying for a master's degree. And if you're an undergraduate, normally just 1 letter of recommendation. The personal statement is actually an essay, very important to mention it. Sometimes it serves in lieu of an interview. So when a person writes a good personal statement, it actually gives them an edge. So for instance, if the team back in London is looking at, let's say for instance, they're looking at recruiting, say 100 students all over Africa. And then we have a lot of candidates jostling for those 100 slots. So the possibility of candidate A getting it over candidate B could actually be tied to their personal statement. So what I'm just trying to say is that the personal statement, you have to do it right. If you're writing a personal statement, it needs to be right. It needs to give us information about the student. It needs to actually be done thoroughly, because in the line of duty, I've seen a lot of personal statements that are sort of out of place, and it's sad because it just portrays the candidate in not so much of a good way. Okay. Then the next one the next point there is that applications can also be made through agents. Of course, Middlesex University has like a lot of partner agents around the world, so you can actually make applications through these agents. Then wait to receive your admission offer, which may be conditional upon you fulfilling certain requirements. It could actually be unconditional if you have met all academic requirements. Then once you have fulfilled all requirements, you shall receive an unconditional letter. That is if you initially got a conditional letter, all right? Then you can then make your visa application. Of course, we are also we as regional offices, we are dedicated to ensuring that we provide guidance and counseling all the way through to the visa application to ensure visa success. And then upon receipt of your visa, you can then apply for a place in the university's halls of residence. So that is basically what the application process is like. So the last slide just tells us a bit about who to contact. So if you want to write us or anything, or you want to contact us, or maybe you want to meet us, this is the address, the phone number, and the email to send those inquiries to. So yeah, we've come to the end of today's presentation. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. It was lovely to get that presentation for you regarding Middlesex University. We actually have one of my colleagues there at the Middlesex Dubai campus, and he'll be sharing some feedback and some images from what the campus is really like. And so far, it's been really exciting to see such a youthful campus in Dubai.
Yeah.
A couple of really nice points that I think you mentioned were the job market. Obviously, when students are going into their studies, they want to guarantee that they'll have some sort of employment after their studies. So that's a really nice benefit of Middlesex. So thank you for telling us about that. And again, with the personal statements, one of the perks of going through global education is that we'll assist you with your personal statement and provide guidance, assess your personal statement, give you feedback so that you have a really, really competitive application against all of the other international applicants. So thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. For everyone who's joined us, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please do get in touch with us at Global Education. We'll help you with all of your application queries. And yeah, good night, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Thank you.